do want to start off with, let me tell the viewers, I did not take my medication this morning, so this is going to be a wild episode. Welcome back to What the Fuck Is This podcast? Today's going to be a little wild, a little fun. We're trying to keep the energies up because we're filming 3 episodes today because we are done watching Riverdale.
Yes! Woo woo!
But today we're going to be talking about episode 13 through
22. Well,
for this episode.
shit. What did we go to? This was the 4th. So, hold on.
17?
Through 16. 17 will start next week's episode. Okay.
So we're doing episode 13 through 16.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't even know.
But I'm one of your hosts, Monica.
I'm Miranda.
And welcome to What the Fuck Is This podcast? I don't know, apparently.
Okay.
Woo!
So, this week I read Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I know she has a little bit of controversy out right now. I had bought this book way before that, and then
Way before you knew.
Yeah, way before I knew about it. I have no idea when it became public knowledge at all. I just saw it on TikTok, like when I had finished reading this book, and then after I
already
finished
bought like 3 other
reading
ones.
this book, I had bought It Ends and It Starts With Us, and then her other series, I don't remember what it's called because I haven't read it yet. So I just want to throw that out there. I know she has some controversy. I obviously don't support SA, but I already bought the books, so I'm not just going to throw them away without reading them. So I do apologize. But this was the first one I bought. I bought it a couple months ago at Target because she was like all over my book talk, and I wanted to know what she was about. This book was so good. It made me buy, like I said, 4 more, but they were each their own series. And I can't wait to talk about this one. I am going to spoil it, so I'm going to give a brief little synopsis, but I cannot stress enough that I would recommend this book to anybody. I would say it's a little like intro to spicy. It's not like
Intro to my world.
it's not that bad if you like, but if you like only romance or like just like generic like lovey-dovey, it's not. I would not say it's for you. It gets a little bit more descriptive than that.
A little more raunchy.
And which I was totally here for. It was very, very hot. So if it's your thing, you'll love it. But basically, Tate is moving in with her brother Corbin, and Corbin Collins. Thank you. Their brother and sister. I don't know if I said that. And she is finishing up nursing school, like her master's. Like she's already an RN. She wants to get her master's so she can be an anesthesiologist. And so she's gonna move in with him while she finishes like her last year or her last semester or something. And she wants to be closer. I think she's moving to San Francisco from somewhere else in California for a specific like job that she wanted to take. So she works on the weekends and then she goes to school the 5 days a week. And she's a busy gal, okay? She doesn't have time for a boyfriend and romance, and Corbin is so protective, you know, just older brother vibes. I wouldn't know about it. Thank God. But the day she shows up to Corbin, and Corbin is a pilot. Day she shows up, he's at work. He's gonna be there the next day, like in the morning, and she came the night before. When she gets there though, she's like, "Hey, there's some guy outside your apartment, like leaning against the door." And he's drunk, and he's like, "Hold on, let me call my my best friend. He lives across the hall. He's also a pilot, but he should be home already." She calls him. Turns out it is him. So that's how she meets Miles. And
His name is Miles, and he's a pilot.
Yeah. Miles Archer.
Miles Teller?
No, Miles Archer. He is not looking for love. He doesn't have time for it either. But they are sexually attracted to each other, so they decide they could be friends with benefits. And now, if you plan to read this book, or you have any interest in reading this book, I would leave now, because Spoiler
Don't
alert.
leave. Skip.
Well,
Skip
yeah,
forward.
skip.
Skip forward.
Leave the book tea. Oh, this reminds me, time codes are in the descriptions now. Okay, but just read it, please. Skip now. Spoiler alert. So basically, they decide that they're going to be friends with benefits, and she thinks she'll be fine with it because she's busy enough that the thought of like
Being with someone.
yeah, like
It's too
wanting
much.
to go on dates and stuff. Like in her mind, she's like, I'm gonna get the best of what's to come out of this. Like a hot guy wants to have sex with me. And it works for a little bit, but then to her, she's like, he doesn't even talk to me when he's like off being a pilot. If he's not here, looking directly at me, he wants nothing to do with me. So that's like starts to bother her. Meanwhile, we do get every other chapter is Miles' perspective, but it's Miles 6 years ago. So we're learning about Miles in high school and stuff, and then Tate is obviously present time. And so something happened to Miles 6 years ago, and while we're at Thanksgiving, we learned that Miles has not had sex in 6 years, and he kissed Tate downstairs for the first time. That was the first girl he kissed in 6 years. Kissed her downstairs. He felt really bad about it. Then that evening, they decided to become friends with benefits because he's like, I can't ever stop thinking about you. Like, he says all these romantic things. Well, then she's like, what the fuck, when he stops like paying attention to her when he's not with her. And then that really starts to bother her, so they like have another conversation about it, and he's like, I just can't be someone's boyfriend. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. I told you this beforehand, and if you can't handle it, you need to walk away.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt you. I do care about you, but I can't be anything more. And she's like, no, sex is fine.
Yeah.
Again, girl, clearly it's not. You're struggling. But she, so they like go through it again. They keep going on, friends with benefits, and then basically they have this big blowout fight, and they're like yelling at each other. I mean, because there was like in between the like original like, wait, is this gonna work? It wasn't really a fight. She was just like, why don't you pay any attention to me? And he's like, because that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, it's not what it
Like, if you can't handle it, like, yeah, okay. So in between that, like, tiff and this big blowout fight, you know, you get lots of, like, spicy scenes, stuff like that, super hot. Little things like she needs to study for her homework or whatever, for her test, she has homework or whatever, and then every Tuesday they have, like, game night or something, and so she, like, comes home, and he's, like, asked to study at my place so I can see you after. You know, things like that. They have, like, this, like, banter, but then that banter is never there when they're not together, so that's what's, like, bothering her and stuff. We get lots of spicy scenes, all that good stuff. Now they're in this big blowout fight because so he comes back, or he comes over after game night at Corbin's and into his apartment. He fucks her on the kitchen table, okay? While they're having sex, he's like, I forgot my condom, hold on, and she's like, it's okay, I'm on the pill. And then when it's over, he acts like he regrets something, slams the door, goes to his bedroom. She's like, what the fuck did I do? She goes back later because Corbin's in the shower, and she's like, what the fuck happened? And then he's like, I'm sorry, like, that's just part of the things, like, you can't ask me about my past. I don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. And then she's like, fine, and then they have more of, like, passionate lovemaking, and while they're doing it, he calls her Rachel, which we've been learning he was involved with Rachel 6 years ago.
Who the fuck is Rachel?
And so basically she's
Fkn
like,
For Real.
she's like crying now because she's like, I'm not even like memorable to him, which is like true but not true.
Yeah.
And he starts apologizing, and she's like, whatever, just finish. And then she leaves, and she doesn't talk to him for a while.
I would not be saying just finish. I would get the fuck out of there. Slap, slap. I'm out.
I mean, same. I thought that was weird, too. She goes away for a while. He leaves a note on her door while Corbin's out of town and says, like, will you go grab this errand with me? And then he takes her to where he watches planes when he needs to think, and is basically like, I don't think you can handle this and stuff. And she was like, you don't think I can handle it? I don't think you can handle it. I think you love me. Just admit it. Like, all this stuff. And
I'm sorry, he just called you another girl's name in bed, and you think he loves you?
And so he's like, she's like, you have two options. take me home or admit you want more with me. And he takes her home. And then she finalizes school or something, and basically she's moving out with Corbin. She's moving out of where Corbin lives. And so she says goodbye to Miles, and she's like, I left my heart on his doorstep that day with the way he treated me. He was so cold. Like, he just said, goodbye, Tate, no matter what I said. Like, he didn't even look me in the eyes and all this. And so she leaves. She lives in her own apartment. Corbin comes back and punches him in the face. Because eventually Corbin does find out that they were hooking up, but it wasn't really, like, whatever. And so Corbin comes back and punches him in the face for hurting his sister. And then...
Her brother should.
Yes. And then he helped her get all moved in and settled. And then Miles' best friend Ian was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you had such a good thing. Just admit you were into her. And he's like, I can't do what I did to Rachel. And obviously Ian knows because Ian is his best friend from high school. And so we get the full reveal of what happened. And basically, okay.
Turn on the kettle.
Yeah, it's about to get hot. So our flashbacks have been revealing he was into this girl, Rachel, and they met in school, and then, because he needed to show her around or whatever, they had the first, like, couple classes together, so he was, like, her designated person. She and him were, like, flirting it up and all this, and then basically his dad comes home one day and is like, hey, my girlfriend and her daughter are coming over for dinner. It's Lisa and Rachel. Oh my god.
Be Fkn For Real.
Now they're basically step-siblings because the only reason they got them together for dinner was to say, hey, we want to move in together. Are you guys cool with that? Yeah. And we find out that that's why Rachel's mom moved here, was to be with her dad, or his dad. And then guess what? The dad was basically having an affair with the mom while she was dying.
Men are sick. Garbage. Hot garbage.
Yeah, and then the dad tries to tell Miles that him and the mom were already getting a divorce, but then she found out she was sick and she didn't want to get a divorce before she died. And he tries to say that the mom knew he was, like, talking to Lisa and stuff.
Be Fkn For Real.
Whatever. So basically, they're still into each other because they had gone on one date, or they went on one date, like, really close to basically finding out that that their parents are dating each other. So now they've been, like, all the flashbacks were, like, them secretly dating behind their parents' back. And then right when him and Tate are in this big blowout fight, we found out that Rachel was pregnant. And, of course, it's Miles. And, of course, there's nothing wrong with this. It just doesn't look, like, good.
Yeah, because they're step-siblings.
They're basically step-siblings. Step-siblings at this point, because they weren't yet married. So then, the day that they were going to tell their parents that they were pregnant, they come home and were like, hey, we went to Vegas and eloped. And they're like, fine, we're pregnant. We're moving out. And they're going to go to the same university together, and they applied for, whatever that housing is, when you're married and stuff in college. They applied for that, they got accepted, and because of their baby's due date, they could move in as soon as, like, June. Mm-hmm. And so they have the baby, and they have plans to move, like, basically when they get the baby home from the hospital and everything. And the parents come, and they named the baby Clayton, which was the name or the last name of their teacher that he walked her to that first day. Like, it was super cute. They named the baby Clayton. They take Clayton home. He's, like, thinking about how Clayton, like, fixed his family because Lisa and the dad came and were like, you know, this isn't so bad, and we can be here for you. You guys are really stepping up. We should step up, da-da-da-da-da. And on the way home from the hospital, he, like, looks in the rearview mirror because she's like, thank you for this, and thank you for him. He's perfect. He, like, looks in the rearview mirror to be like, thank me. Like, you did everything. And then it's not really clear what happens, but it's clear he wasn't looking in the mirror for very long. But he says when he looks back to the road, there was headlights. They wind up in the lake, and the car is drowning. He can get out, so he punches or kicks the window out or whatever, and then is getting her out, and she's screaming like, no, you have to get the baby. And he's like, you need to go so I can get the baby, you know, swim to that guy that's trying to help us. And the car's sinking, and then that guy that got Rachel comes into the car that's sinking and is like, you have to leave the baby, you have to get out or you're gonna die too. And basically makes Miles leave the baby in the car and die, a 2-day-old baby. So the baby dies, and that is why Miles hasn't done anything with another woman for 6 years, because he took that away from Rachel because basically then Rachel leaves and says she can't be with him. Yeah, and so he has always felt responsible because she does blame it on him. She's like, I'm not a mom because of you. I'm not anything. Like, I'm so sad. Da, 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 da.
You gotta get him out.
So he still becomes a pilot like he wanted to be and does everything, but he's like, I'm just not going to be in love with anybody. I'm not going to be with a woman. Whatever. And then basically, so basically, right after their big blowout fight, and then she says goodbye and everything, Ian's like, you need to go see Rachel because he knows what Rachel's been up to. She's now married with a daughter. And so he goes and he sees Rachel, and Rachel's like, I should have come and found you years ago because none of this was your fault, but I didn't know how bad you were off. Like, if I had known, I would have come and relieved you of this, and I'm so sorry I didn't, da 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 da. And she's like, I should have never held that against you. I should have held, like, us together because we needed each other to get through that, and I took that from you and all this. And so then he goes back to San Francisco, and he goes to Corbin, and he wants to know where her address is, and Corbin punches her again and then gives her the address, and then he goes there and he waits for 6 hours outside of her door, exactly like he was the day he was drunk. Oh, and he was drunk that day because that was his son's 6th birthday that they met. And he's sitting outside, but he's not drunk, and he's like, can I please use the restroom? I've been here for 6 hours. And then while he's in the restroom, she's like freaking out from her perspective. And then he comes back out and he sits on the couch with her. He tells her, like, not like surface level of what happened, but like he's like, I'm not ready to go into a ton of detail, but this is why I was drunk. This is, you know, what happened to me, everything. Why I haven't been with a woman for 6 years, and I want to be with you. And then she's like, oh my God, like, she's like, this is amazing. This is so cute. Like, not cute, not like, but you know what I mean, like that you came for me is cute. Like, not the story, not his trauma.
You wanting to be with me.
Yes, you came back for me. I understand now. Like, you can give yourself all to me. I get it. Da 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 da. And then they get engaged in the sky because when they went home for Thanksgiving and the whole 6 years thing came out, and then their Friends with Benefits started. She asked them, oh, it must be so fun to be pilots, like, while they were driving. It must be so fun to be pilots because you guys can see, like, sunrises and sunsets from ways that, like, were never meant to be seen. And so he takes her up in the plane to see the sunrise, and then he proposes to her, and she says yes, and then, they get married, and then they have a daughter of their own. And they name her Sam after the little, like the elevator guy in their rich building, because turns out he was basically like a father to Miles this whole time because, well, one, his father was a piece of shit, and two, he worked with his dad the whole time on these buildings and stuff. Aww. And so he moved into his dad's building, and he started like looking after him like a dad and everything when he became a pilot. And
that's sweet.
They named him Sam. And so,
that's so sweet.
So it's spicy, it's sweet, it's so good. I would 1000% recommend. Oh my God.
Where to begin? So last episode we ended on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Because Betty was taking a pee test.
Yes.
To see if she was pregos in her egos.
Yes.
And we start this episode by she's not.
She's not pregnant.
She's not pregos in her egos. Which, like, I feel like that I would have loved the show so much more if she was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have loved it. But also, like,
it's gonna be like a running storyline, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. But we'll obviously get into that with Archie and her.
Yep. I put, why isn't she pregnant? I feel like Betty and Archie, like, from their backgrounds, like, they would make the best, like, parents.
Yeah.
Like,
which is what I'm saying, like, when, I don't remember what episode it is, so I don't want to talk about it too far beforehand, but why doesn't she want to be a mom? Like, why does she get scared?
Like, I understand because it's like fucking Alice.
Yeah.
And especially in these couple episodes, I'm like, fucking Alice. Like, come on, dude. But
yes.
Yeah.
But Archie, I thought Archie was so sweet during that when she's like, we're not, or whatever, and he had that, the heart to heart. And I was just like, yes. But, okay.
Reg and Veronica.
They are so catty.
I just
fucking
don't get
catty.
it. Like, part of me wants them to be together, but at the same time, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like rooting for them, but like in secret.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Pickens is going around.
Oh, okay, yes.
This is that episode.
Yes.
So Pickens needs them to. So they closed down the library in town.
Mm-hmm.
And Pickens apparently so Pickens is the mayor. Now he's going around saying that these people need to turn in their overdue books, and that they could even go to jail if they don't turn them in. And they've been out since they were like 12. These people are like 24 at this time.
Yeah. And like, even like, because at first like Jug was like, bro, I've been moving, like, and he obviously can't pay the fine. It's in the thousands. Arch might be like the only other next one that could, but he's also bought a house. He's been fixing things up. Like,
I think Reg and Veronica are the only two that could.
Yeah. And then when it gets to them, and they're like, yeah, here, let me just write you a check. Or like Reggie actually has the book. He's like, well, you could go to jail because it's like theft.
Just like, okay, in what world? In what world?
What?
Also, he has the police with him?
The whole time that guy's just in the back with a shotgun, like.
Like, I understand Pickens can mind control, but like, come on. Like, are you shitting me?
I just was like, this is so ridiculous. And at first I was like, this is your like vendetta, and they all happen to be like limited edition, and he needs collateral.
One of a kind.
And he needs collateral, and he needs the exact same one back, and he needs collateral and all this. And then we go back to his office, and he's a spellcaster now. He's a witch.
Yeah, I said he's doing witchcraft with their stuff?
I'm sorry. And then, oh yeah, because I also wrote, Reg has found his missing book, but still has a debt. Like, anyways. But,
And then we find out that Reg can't read because he's dyslexic, and that book helped him read. He was trying to be Bella Thorne and get ahead, and he couldn't because they took the book away from him.
And then they take the book back, and he just magically can't read anymore.
It's not even like English. It's just random jumbled up letters. Like, it's not even letters.
It's not even in line.
That's what I'm saying. And then Betty is smelling bleach, and it triggers her.
Yeah,
she's like a flashback.
Throw up, and then her dad is the janitor, except, oh, not really. It was like, what?
And then Cheryl, she's like, she sees a fucking ghost on her bed, and she's like, eh.
She's like freaked out, pulls it, it's gone, and she's like, okay.
Yeah.
You're joking. You're lying.
And then we get fucking creepy Miss Grundy.
Oh, zombie Miss Grundy.
Yeah. But it's like really Pickens that's like playing. I don't understand that.
That was so weird.
Like, I don't get that at all.
No.
Like, I understand like the other parts or whatever. Like, yeah, he's doing witchcraft to like show these other stuff happenings. But like, for him to be actually playing like the fucking cello or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. No. And then Jug's hands are itchy and
the fingernail scene. I wanted to vom so bad. Like, it was just
even thinking about it, I can throw up right now. Ugh. So he has to wear gloves.
And then Reg goes back to Pickens saying that he needs the book because he can't read, and it helped him learn how to read, so he needs the book again. And Pickens is like voice controlling, give this glamour J.A. to Veronica. So he gives it to her.
Yeah.
Thing has Black Widow spiders all up in it.
Yeah. And now she's being haunted by spiders because her book she owes is a spider. Okay.
And then, I don't know who says this, but they said, once a piggy, always a piggy. I think it was Cheryl.
I think so,
but I'm
too.
not sure.
I
wrote, not the flashbacks of Archie and Grundy.
I know. So then he smashes the cello. That's what I was ready to say. I was like, he's getting these flashbacks and then he's like, wham! And I'm like, are you good?
Yeah.
Are you good? Oh! Kevin and Pickens.
Oh my my god.
Was that mind control, or is Kevin just that vulnerable?
I'm sorry, but Kevin is giving me pick me vibes.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking bad.
Yeah.
And, like, now that I've realized it, like, it goes back to the very, very fucking beginning. Like, he wants to be, like, the popular kid. He wants to be the most important kid. He wants to, like, go with the flow, but be, like, involved with everything.
You know, that's why he wanted Betty and Archie to get together so bad in high school.
Maybe.
His best friend's dating the star of the football team.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Kevin's just very vulnerable and gullible.
And he and Pickens end up kissing.
They're, like, making out.
Kevin's sweet at the Babylonia?
I was gonna say La Bandini. Yes, at the Babylonia. And Kevin, no, is this when it happens?
I don't know.
Is this when Kevin starts fighting for custody? No.
No.
No,
they're kind of like in it, but not to the extent yet.
And then we get to the next scene where Veronica's flirting with Geraldo.
Yeah, which I thought was so funny because part of the reason that Veronica and Reggie, I said they were being so catty, was like literally Reggie yells at her like, just wait till you go to the bodyguard next. Like, me, Archie, now you're going to be all over that bodyguard.
Yeah.
And then she fucking does, after she was like insulting him. And then I said Veronica needs therapy.
Oh, 100%.
Girl, you gotta
called her own dad. She needs a lot of help.
And like, you just can't be single? Anyways.
And then the next thing we get, he's fucking dead.
He's dead by spiders.
Be fucking for real.
Then she calls Reggie about it. And she was like, help. He's dead. What did you do? Like.
Yeah. And then.
Bitch, you did it.
And then Betty makes a discovery that she thinks that TBK is a father.
This would, because of her own, like, linked, because she's getting the flashbacks to her own childhood of her dad grooming her, like with Caramel. We're seeing fucking Caramel all over again.
Yeah. And
some other scene in the back of the car with bleach and stuff. And so she's like, oh, maybe he's a dad.
Let's go with that theory.
Broaden the search. What? For what?
At this point, any man that's a serial killer can be a father. So you're telling me you didn't look into that beforehand?
Yeah.
Like.
But even Drake? Is that the other girl that she's talking to?
Yes.
Okay, even.
Duke.
Okay. Duke is like.
Is it Duke?
I don't know. It's her last name, so it throws me off.
I don't know.
Anyways, Drake, Duke, whatever. She's like. In my head, I was like, I'll just call her Agent D. No, I won't. Okay. Drake or Duke or whatever. She's even like, well, it's not very likely or whatever. I'm like, bitch. Exert all options. Why aren't we? Whatever.
And then Reggie goes to confront Pickens at his shop. And he says, what are you, a wizard? And it just reminds me of, I don't know if you, on YouTube, you were a wizard, Harry. You were a wizard. I'm a what? Have you never seen that?
I don't think so.
Oh, it was hilarious. Well, it was like middle school humor. So
yeah.
I think it's still hilarious, but
that's funny.
That's what it reminded me of. And so basically, we end this episode by knowing that Dr. Curdle discovers that he was poisoned, but there was no sign of like a bite from a spider or anything, and that he was poisoned, and the poison was on his lips.
So Veronica basically gave him the kiss of death. Oh, they also get their books to Pickens, and they get their stuff back. Okay.
Anyways.
Episode 14.
Episode 14 of season 6.
Venomous. That's the name. I wrote that down because I was like, that's it? That's all you could come up with?
I put Veronica is toxic, like, for real.
Yes! And I was like, Veronica has powers now?
Yeah, I don't understand how she has powers. Or why she has powers. It doesn't make any sense, because she was nowhere near these fucking explosions.
No!
And then they put Veronica on dialysis to try to get the toxins out of her system, but it doesn't work.
Yeah,
and then the investors want to sell the casino so they can make their money back.
And she comes into the meeting with a cloak on. And now she's wearing like black lipstick at all times. Bitch,
No.
what the fuck is
No.
this?
No.
Ugh.
I put the memory thing / flashbacks. Do I know what I'm talking about? No.
Is it?
Oh, it's her dad.
Jughead goes into Betty's mind now.
Yes. I think
Yeah,
that's what
to help with her memories. I think that's what you're talking about. And then I just think it's so weird that everyone's head, he sits down at a table and it's comic books.
Yeah.
What?
Her dad was grooming her to be a killer. I wrote
Yeah.
plantation soup.
What?
It was mentioned somewhere in the story, but I don't know what it's regarding. There's 3 question marks after it.
Do you mean, like, the thing that is Archie's kryptonite?
Oh, yes. Plantation soup. Palladium soup. I can't read my own fucking handwriting.
Yes, because Pickens reveals
Yes.
to Archie that he has a pure palladium ring. So, like, don't come after
Yes.
me. So
You're like an
Archie...
idiot.
No, you're fine.
I was just like,
I figured you were
what?
just making it a new name, like planetarium, like we were calling it the first time.
No, I said plantation. I
so-
apologize.
Archie's like, oh, I need to like figure out my immunity, or whatever, so that it doesn't make me weak anymore.
And Cheryl makes him planetarium soup.
Yes, and Archie looks like he's about to fucking die.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then the biggest tea of all of this fucking season is that we find out that Alice is the one with the serial killer genes.
Yes.
It's not her dad, it's her mom. And that's who she got it from. And this entire time,
Alice
she thought,
has been lying.
yeah. And she continues to kind of lie about it. And she's like, no, like, who the fuck told you about this? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Archie's body is shutting down, like for real. Like, for real.
Yeah,
He gets on the scale and he's like 135.
135.
He's like, I haven't been this weight in like months. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
No, since he was like 16. He was like,
Oh, yeah.
hella dramatic. Yeah, he has like anemia or whatever. And then I wrote shots. Because they go to the White Worm and their little fucking bar table, like, you know, a traditional bar with like the stand-up tables, like, they're not huge, but they fit a decent amount. It's just covered in shot glasses. Yeah. And Veronica's not getting drunk at all.
Yeah.
Which, like, what?
Nothing.
Where's the fun in that?
But before we do get to that, because this is when Betty goes through all her mom stuff first, and then they go to the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Or what is Betty's mom's hiding?
Yes.
And then apparently, this whole fucking time, all 6 fucking seasons, there has been a dead body underneath the dining room table, like underneath the floor.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. And this is what Jug is helping her with. What that was. This is what Jug has been helping her with, to reveal.
Yeah.
Is like uncover these like repressed memories. Okay. So they go to a bar.
I put Cheryl with the redheads. I don't know what I'm referring to.
I'm not sure I do either.
But then we get to the bar scene.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica realizes she can't get drunk.
Yeah.
And then after that, she goes back to her office and she's working on her presentation for the investors. And she's like, I'm working on my presentation in Canva.
Yep.
And in the same scene, she's eating Smart Food popcorn.
Yep. It was a 2-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl gives her spider brooch to Veronica.
But then she has another one on later on.
I was like,
She's like, this belongs
okay.
to you.
What? Like,
I don't know.
ugh. She also gives her a book, though, about spiders or whatever, or Veronica had a book on spiders, because that's what they were talking about. And I was just because she was reading it in the bathtub, and then the next scene where it was Cheryl, and she's like, here's my brooch, and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Ugh.
I put Cheryl's spell worked. I don't know what spell I'm referring to. I need to go into detail on my notes.
Cheryl.
Well, I mean, it's a little too late for this show.
Yeah. What I do know is Veronica is throwing a fit about her last real kiss being with Reggie, which is not entirely true. Just because Geraldo died,
Yeah.
your last, like, passionate kiss was still with
Yeah.
him. But, so Betty's like, it's okay. Archie is, like...
Immune.
Immune.
He can't get hurt.
So she's like, yeah, just kiss my man. Bitch, what the
Oh,
fuck?
that's the spell. Cheryl, like, did a spell on Archie, and she got all the palladium out of him.
Oh, they, like, forage him
Yes.
or whatever. Yes.
And it worked. So now he is immune to palladium.
Yeah.
And
That's
he's strong
right.
again.
And so he's strong again, so then Betty's like, kiss my man. Veronica does, like, yeah. And then she performs Toxic at the Babylonia.
I wrote, no, Veronica and Archie, like, are you kidding me? If my best friend told me, it's okay, make out with him. Fuck no. Especially knowing that this bitch dated him, like, in high school. No. Never.
Mm-mm.
Never. And if I said it, like, if I was Betty and I said it and my best friend agreed to me, you're not my best friend no more.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
No.
I wrote, not Archie dancing.
Oh my god, what? I literally wrote, Archie, what are those moves? Guys.
Yeah.
We should have wrote down the time code for you all, but you have to go watch it. Episode 14.
It's towards the end.
Towards the end, when
they're all at the Babylonia.
Yeah, they're at Babylonia, and she's performing Toxic. You guys have to go see his fucking dance moves.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did love Veronica's outfit.
Yeah. No,
it was like a Black Widow.
Yeah, it was all great. It was just like, really? This is what
you're ending the episode on?
Okay. Well, not technically, because the last scene is Cheryl opening the door for...
None other than Miss
Heather. Sorry, did we wake you? Miss Heather.
Yup, she shows up.
She's at Thornhill, ladies and
okay, but she shows up randomly after not responding to her emails or her calls.
Yeah, and then
how do you know where she lives?
I don't know if it's this episode or the next, but she's basically like, you called. And you didn't? Like,
you didn't answer? How do you know where I live?
I was just like, girl. Well, I guess technically they've always lived at Thornhill.
It's on the same grounds, but
so
yeah, I don't.
Like, she would have known where Thornhill was from middle school, but still. Okay.
And she's coming from Greendale?
Yeah, Greendale.
Episode 15.
Bless you.
What's it called?
Things that go bump in the night. I don't think they could have made it any longer if they tried.
Okay.
I think at this point they're literally out of ideas.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Okay, I get it's difficult. I struggle sometimes naming our podcast episodes, but like things that go bump in the night.
I would never make it like more than 5 words.
No.
Okay. Cheryl wants Heather's help turning Thornhill into a private library because the Riverdale library got shut down.
Yes, and now I think this is great. Go Betty. But is she doing this only because she needs a cover for why she called Heather, or does she really want to do it?
No, I think she needs a cover.
I think so too.
Because I've never seen that many books in Thornhill.
No, and
they're all about
sudden.
It's literally all of the Blossom's history. Like there is no other book.
They're literally calling it the Blossom Archives. Like,
yeah. Okay. No. We find out that Puffs is a soul of Riverdale.
Yes.
And they're planning on moving Pops?
Yes. But like momentarily or something. It's kind of confusing.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, they want to move it, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
No.
And then literally, why? For what?
I guess like their thinking was that like, sure, Pops is the soul, but it doesn't have to be in that building.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like,
what?
The reason why it is the soul of Riverdale is because of its location.
Yeah.
That I didn't understand.
And then I wrote, we're still in this custody battle.
I put Daywood had a bad aura.
Dagwood.
Dagwood.
Yeah.
I
wrote Juniper, Dagwood, has bad energy. And then I wrote underneath, the boy. So I remember which one I was talking about, because I can't remember which one is Juniper and which one's Dagwood.
And
why does Alice have the twins again?
I don't understand. Half of the time, I don't know who has custody of these kids.
I don't either!
Because they're like... I need to stop smoking. They're never, like, anywhere.
No!
Oh, so there's Archie and the boys are helping move everything out of Pops. The next day they come back. Guess what? Everything's exactly where it was.
It's back.
It's back in Pops. I put, who is this new girl? Don't know who I'm referring to.
Probably the FBI agent, because in this episode she's like telling Betty to move out of the house and in with her boyfriend.
Yes.
And, which I thought was so funny, she just kept saying her boyfriend, and I'm like, don't, come on, everybody knows Archie, but like...
Archiekins! And then we go back to Pops, and there's 3 ghosts at Pops.
4.
I think there was only
One
2.
of them never talks. There's like a boy-girl like couple with Riverdale High stuff on. The boy never talks.
Oh, I thought there was only 3, because I knew it was the waitress, and then the 2 of them.
Well, there's another one then. But there's 4.
Okay. Yeah, but
anyways.
Regardless, the ghost waitress is like, we're here to be prepared for the battle between the good and bad.
Yeah.
And they're like, the battle between good and bad? The fuck you talking about? And they're like, he's trying to build a ghost train. And they're like, what the fuck is a ghost train?
Yeah.
He's trying to bring fucking ghosts back from the dead.
Yeah, basically. And Fred is like officially on his side now, and he's trying to get Andrew's construction to help with the ghost train and not the disassembling of Pops.
Yes.
Disassembling, that's not the word I wanted to say. What is it? Dismantling is what I was trying to say. Okay, sorry.
So the ghosts agreed to let them move the diner.
Yeah.
As long as they rebuild it, because...
Like soon. Like
yes, because if it's dismantled for a long enough time, the ghost will disappear.
Right. And like originally they were just going to put it into storage. Now they're going to go put it in El Royale for the ghosts.
Which, that's the one thing I don't understand. Like, where does that make sense in this storyline?
What?
To move it to El Royale.
Oh,
like,
yeah. It doesn't, but it's because the ghosts are saying, like, we'll die.
No, yeah, I'll get it, but there's, like, also no point in destroying Pops. Like, you could have had...
Yes and no, because I think what they were thinking was Pickens won't quit.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm just saying, like...
the building. They're, like,
what were the writers thinking?
Yeah.
Like, they could have done without this.
I know. They're just trying to tell Pickens, like, sure, we'll give in, but you still can't have Pops, I think is, like, the idea, but it's not working very well.
We find out that Jug can change people's minds. Like, he can go into there and, like, take out memories.
Yeah.
Like, kind of fabricate stuff.
And he starts his show with Veronica at the Babylonian, and he's Fourth Sight the Fantastic. We
find out that Heather is a motherfucking witch.
Yeah, and she reads tarot cards. What else? Oh, the girl has the gene. Juniper has the gene.
Oh, yes, we find out.
But not the boy with the aura.
Yeah. So now Betty has a theory that she can't read people with the gene's aura. And only people that don't have the aura she can read.
I don't think I completely understand that, but... Sign me up.
Those sentences just came out of my mouth. Didn't make any sense to myself, so...
okay, but like palladium, like it makes sense. It's like a kryptonite.
Yes.
I guess I'm seeing like how they're trying to make like this is a kryptonite.
Yes, they're trying to find something that doesn't work.
But the gene, where is the logic coming from?
And then it also doesn't make any sense because she can see her own aura,
but she has the gene.
Yeah,
that's like my biggest like. What, girl?
In what world?
Girl.
In what world?
Okay, sorry.
And then Uncle Frank has a bad plan. He was planning on stealing the truck because Betty sees he has an aura. And so he's planning on stealing the truck and throwing it into Sweetwater River.
So she tells Archie.
Yeah, so she tells Archie. And Uncle Frank has palladium on him, and he tries to punch Archie. And he's
hurts
like,
himself.
ow, broke my fucking wrist, bitch.
Yes.
And then we find out that Tony just wants to get married just for baby Anthony because it'll look good if they're married.
Yeah, that was fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then
I kind of ruined it.
she's like, I know, Betty can see her own aura. Yeah. I guess maybe that makes sense why she thought it was the MAOAG until the end of this episode. Anyways, okay, whatever.
Anyways, Tony
No.
wanted to get married just so that she looks good in front of the court.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
And then when she does it, like she proposes, she makes it seem like it's our choice. We need to do this now. Like,
For us.
yeah.
Like, bitch,
no.
no. That was what was fucked for me. Like,
Yes.
okay, fine. You want to look good. You want to keep Kevin from having the
Yes.
baby. You don't know which one is actually the biological father. Like, fine. Do what you need to do.
No.
But, like, first off, to me, changing the gang from a gang to a political activist group was bad. But this is, like, you're literally creating a whole different personality to get
And it would
away.
be completely different. Like, I would be okay with it if she let him know. Like,
Yes.
if she was like,
Yes.
hey, I talked to the social worker. She said it would look really good if we're married.
Yes.
So, like, let's do this so that we can, you know, if we're both on the same page and we want baby Anthony
But
to
she's
stay with us.
lying.
No, no.
Oh, and then there was a chime ad in the bar when Archie hands his card who's like, it's on me. He had like his fingers on the tippy top of the card.
It's on me.
Bitch, I know you're lying.
They
And he says, I'll pay with my chime card.
I want to know how much these companies pay to be in these shows.
And how much did they get out of it?
I don't freaking know.
Ends with her seeing her own aura in the mirror.
Yes.
So we did spoil. Sorry guys, but that's what you're listening for.
Yeah, I mean. Episode 16.
Blue collar.
I did not realize it was Okay. Pops is now at El Royale. They reset it up and everything.
Yes.
The building, we don't know what happened to that.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, they
It's
just
just
took
hanging
everything. It's just
out.
empty.
Yeah.
And they call it the headquarter of the Resistance.
I totally missed that.
Wait, are you for real? Be fucking for real.
I must not have been paying very good attention.
No, that's what they call it.
Oh my god.
Let me hide my notes for the next episodes.
Pickens promised a lot to get people on his team, and now has lower pay and puts a rental equipment fee to rent the equipment from him into their pay.
Yeah.
So it's super fucked up, and I just hope everyone feels stupid.
Oh, and then Betty gets a call. It's Alice being like, Charles is here. And she runs home. Charles is dying in a fucking bed.
Her bed.
Yeah.
Her bed. Alice was like, here, let me just put you in Betty's room because she moved in with Archie next door. Bitch. That was weird.
Be fucking for real. That's what you need to name this episode. Be fucking for real. Because
Mm-hmm.
I cannot.
BFFR.
I cannot.
Cheryl mentioning Dua Lipa. I was dead. I was like,
Yes.
is this product placement?
But they decide to have 25-cent burgers at Pops to bring it back to when the unions were forming in Riverdale.
Right.
It was 1950.
And to help Pickens' crew be like, this is not right.
Yes.
You just don't have to just take this.
Yes.
Um,
We find out that Percival can get into Reggie's mind.
yeah.
Oh, that's what I was talking about with the other one.
Oh, yeah, we never did talk about that.
Jug goes into Reggie's mind to erase the memory that...
Veronica ordered a hit on her father.
Yes, because he was trying to blackmail her into
Mhm.
stepping down from the Babylonian.
And so, yeah, we did forget to talk about that. And so now
Pickens goes in
and sees like a tear in his comic book.
And he's like, beat Fkn For Real.
And so now he's like, hey, we just need to get into Jug's head. I need to go in Jug's head. So you have to help us get him distracted.
And then Veronica wants to step away from rum and wants to start making absinthe.
Yeah.
I have no idea where this came out of.
No.
They're like, let me pick something random to add to this storyline.
Yeah.
Veronica on absinthe.
Didn't make any sense.
So while they're performing, Veronica and Jughead are performing their little mind reader things, Pickens gets into Jughead's mind.
But the first time he goes,
he can't get in.
Yes. So he's like, I need to get some of his personal items. He tells Reggie that.
And then we find out Cheryl can go invisible by holding her breath.
No, but she also has to say something in her head.
Yeah, but it's like, the whole fact she's like, okay, but you can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she has to repeat this spell in her head continuously. And then, yeah. I have 2 quotes.
Okay, what are they? Because I didn't write any for this episode.
I said, well, I didn't write the whole quote, but I was like, Harry Potter and Wizards of Waverly Place reference in the same sentence. Followed closely by Cheryl having Veronica at her door to say, wait here, Spider-Woman.
Oh, yes! I remember that one.
Okay, those were my quotes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's when Veronica's like, hey, does your family have any books on absinthe?
Yeah. Okay.
Alice tries to kill Charles.
Yeah. Betty is in Archie's room and sees Alice trying to smother Charles and runs over there and saves his life. What?
Beat Fkn For Real.
Ugh.
I said, I'm so confused about this episode. Like, where is this show going?
Yes! Reggie gets a jacket, a serpent jacket,
Jug's serpent jacket.
His hat, I don't know, those are like the main items. So that Pickens can sneak into his head, so he wears all that stuff.
Yep.
And then Reggie goes to the show again and is heckling him because he can throw his voice. That's his superpower. And then Pickens gets in there, which, like, okay, this doesn't even make sense to me, though, that, like, that's enough of a distraction for Pickens to get in his mind. How? His mind has to be, like, active looking for the heckler.
And then also, he has, like, a crowbar in Jugs' mind.
And a newspaper. Those were 2 items that Reggie also brought him.
I just don't understand.
Pries the door open and puts the newspaper in the jam.
And then all the voices just keep spilling in?
Yeah, his door to his mind.
He broke his mind, basically.
Sort of. But he opened the door to his mind, so now he can't turn on and off the thought reading, I guess.
But then I put Yas Tony, fuck Kevin.
Yes.
Because he tries to take baby Anthony and she fucks him up.
No, the pacifier, because he wants the DNA.
Yes.
Yes. And because I said water filter is back and she babysits.
Fanes and Tony are gonna get married. They agreed to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, out of fucking nowhere, Sir Pickens is like, Kevin goes to Pickens and he's like, I didn't get the pacifier. And Pickens is like, it doesn't matter, you're not the father anyways. And Kevin's just like, huh? Like, be fucking for real. But it's just the way he did it. He was like, you're not the father anyways.
No.
And then we find out that baby Anthony is the future of Riverdale.
Yes.
Which, like, honestly, you could say that about any children.
Yeah. Then they cancel the rebranding of the serpents and then say that Anthony is a serpent and
he has to be the king.
Fangs is going to pick his name.
Yes.
Because he's the future. And I was just like, what?
No.
Betty wants to do a serial killer Comic-Con.
Yes. And then they do like a dialysis on Charles.
Oh, yeah.
With Veronica. And so Veronica takes out all his poison.
Which doesn't even make sense. He didn't have anything like that.
It's Riverdale. Anything can happen.
Okay.
And then Jughead's mind goes like basically crazy because he's getting constant like voices in his head.
Yeah.
And so he just runs off.
He runs away. Again.
Mm-hmm. But like, we're used to that.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
But that's it for these episodes of Riverdale.
Yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah. It's getting very hard to watch.
Yeah, painful.
Yep. But we only have 2 more episodes to film, and then we're done.
3 and 3.
Yes. And then we're done with Riverdale, and we're gonna move on to our lovey-dovey Christmas show episode.
Ooh.
Christmas movies. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my what the fuck news, and then after that you can do your what the tea that I forgot about. Okay, this comes. I don't know if this is a good website or not, but I just saw it and I took it. This is from the U.S. The Sun.
Oh yeah.
U.S. Okay. The title of this article is "Letting Sleeping Dogs Lie." We turned our pet golden retriever into an ornamental rug for our living room. We love it, but we're dividing opinions. Why would you turn your dog
I can't with the
into
story.
a fucking rug?
That's disgusting.
I feel like the furthest you should take it is taxidermying your pet. I feel like that's a little more respectable than turning it into a rug that you have to walk over.
You're walking on your pet. And like people are probably like, well, at least they could take it with them. Cremate them.
Yeah.
Cremate them.
Yeah. But basically they like went through the whole taxidermy process to make sure that the fur wasn't falling out and all that other shit. But no.
That's so disgusting.
It 100% be fucking for real.
Ugh.
No. These people are insane. No. That's my what the fuck news. Is people are making their dogs into fucking rugs. No.
Ah, I'm screaming.
Sick. But yeah, that's it for my what the fuck news. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know it's rather short. These next couple episodes are going to be short simply because we're out of episodes.
Yeah.
And
the whole show is just fucking off its rocker at this point.
Yeah, I feel like we couldn't handle doing like 5 episodes for. But yeah.
But it's okay. It's been fun. And it's almost over.
It's so close to being done. But go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at What the Fuck Is This Podcast? And What the Fuck Is This _podcast? And we also did do our YouTube handle.
I'm not sure if they're active yet, but it has been created. So whenever they go live, it has the app. It's just I'm not sure like. Because basically, the way it was going to work now, it was telling me, is now you just type in youtube.com/ what the fuck is this _podcast, and you'll go right to our page. So whenever that's active, that will be ready to go. I just don't know when. And yeah.
But yeah, that is it for this episode. Make sure you send us your juicy book tea, your juicy life tea, if you want us to share it on the pod. Because we love tea.
Yeah.
We're living for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for this episode. If you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.